Hi guys, what's happening? Welcome to the United Talk. This is Divyansh and today we are going to be talking about Manchester United's next match in the Premier League against Wolves. Now before I begin guys, I actually want to talk about Wolves and why they were such a big surprise package last season in the Premier League. About a couple of seasons ago, they had a backing from a Chinese consortium and they also had a deal with this super agent Jorge Mendes, and because of this they were able to get very good players on board. They were able to build a team which was very good, which is very deadly on the counter attack and which can also break down teams who sit against them. Essentially, if you see, they bought players like João Moutinho, they bought Ruben Neves, Diego Jota, and they got Nuno Espirito Santo as a coach on board. Now this guy Nuno is very good tactically, and he likes to play with three at the back. And if you see, when they used to play in the championship, they actually blew other teams in the championship out of water. And the reason they were able to do that was because they used to play with a 3-4-2-1 formation, wherein the two defensive midfielders used to sit and to protect that back line, whereas the two attacking midfielders used to go wide and they used to ping in crosses for the centre man or also bring in the midfielders into the play. And this is how they were used to open teams up in the championship. This tactic, however, was not successful in the early months in the Premier League last season for Wolves, and Nuno that time showcased his tactical ability. He still played with the three at the back, however he actually started playing with a 3-5-2. Now in this 3-5-2, normally what they do is they either play with two defensive midfielders and one attacking midfielder, or they play with one defensive midfielder and two attacking midfielders, depending upon the type of opposition, the type of game plan, the tactics, everything, etc. So what essentially now they do is they attack with the wingmen, the wing backs essentially on the left hand side, on the right hand side, and they go so far ahead that the wing backs actually play on the shoulder of the last defender, and that's how wide the pitch becomes. They are possession wise very good because they stretch the field, they occupy most of the field. Position wise they are very good because they dominate midfield. The two players or the three players in the midfield, the two defensive midfielders and one attacking midfielder or vice versa, they actually protect the back three while also giving balls, through balls, long balls to the front men. They are essentially, those three people in the midfield are essentially the linchpin of the entire team. Now when you talk about that midfield, João Moutinho is that one person who needs to be mentioned, because that guy was not only the highest tackler, the fifth highest tackler in the Premier League last season, but he was also one of those guys who gave 5 assists through set pieces. Now you're looking at a guy who can not only give you a through ball, who can not only break down defenses, take a long shot like Ruben Neves, but also can give you an assist through set piece, and essentially he's a very important player for them. When you also talk about how they break down other teams, Conor Cody, who plays as a central defender, one of the three defenders playing centrally, he gives those long balls, those crosses across the field to the left wing back and the right wing back, essentially giving the balls on the top, breaking the teams down and allowing these players to play bold, to play forward, and you know what, allowing them to actually attack the teams how they want to. Now when United played against them last season, they actually lost 2-1 and 2-0 at Wolves Stadium. And they also drew 1-1 at Old Trafford in the beginning. So essentially they have become kind of a bogey team for us because we are not able to win against them, and this is the 4th game now. And we cannot afford to lose this game. We cannot have 3 losses straight against Wolves. We can't. Nobody thought of that, even I didn't. So we can't have that. In order to avoid that, what we need to do is essentially what a 3-5-2 formation gives you is it allows you to maximize the entire field properly. But one of the cons of having this kind of formation is also that there's a lot of space in behind the defenders. What Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial and maybe Jesse Lingard, if he plays, what these guys need to do is make runs behind these three centre backs to exploit that area. Like I said, Conor Cody and the other two defenders are going to be near the halfway line, bringing in crosses to the wing backs. If we can defend that, if we can have a game plan against that, we can take the ball from there and have Marcus Rashford, Martial and Jin Lingard running at the defenders and behind them. And when it comes to a foot race, nobody's going to beat Rashford and Martial, that's for sure. I think that's number one what we can do. In case Wolves sit against us and in case we have to attack them, like I mentioned in the previous video also guys, we have a very left-sided heavy attack. Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford, Luke Shaw all have a habit of, Luke Shaw for sure, but then even Rashford and Martial have a habit of coming from the left and then attacking other teams. We need to understand that when these three guys are on the left hand side, there needs to be someone holding the central area and someone holding the right hand area. According to me, Paul Pogba is someone who can help these guys out from the center area along with the Jesse Lingard. And Andres Pereira in this case can also hold on the right hand side along with the Van Bissaka, like he did in the last game when he gave that superb assist for Martial goal. If we do that, and even if we lose the ball at that time, we have Maguire, Lindelof, McTominay sitting at the halfway line trying to defend. We need to be wary of Diego Jota and Raul Jimenez making those runs. And I don't care even if you have to make Van Bissaka sit a little bit towards the defensive line and not really attack, because you have four players defending. Most often than not, you're not going to get succumbed to a counter attack from another team. So I think that's what United need to do. That's how they need to break Wolves. When it comes to play near the box, around the box, the flicks and tricks of Pogba, Pereira, Lingard, Martial, Rashford, etc. They need to have those fast passes, those quick passes going on. What they also need to do is make sure that somebody is in the box to receive a cross. Now, Conor Cody, Willy Bolly, and the third centre back, all of them are very tall. They are very strong. So normally, if you ping in a pass, you're not gonna put your head on the ball like that against these type of players. So we can also think about a strategy wherein we attract these players outside the box. Maybe have players run into the box, not for the purpose of actually scoring a header, but for the purpose of these defenders marking these people, and then maybe take it forward from there. So these are two ways I feel that we can defeat Wolves, we can come at Wolves. But it is essential for us that after a great start against Chelsea, we do not lose this game, we do not lose the momentum, because Wolves, like I said, is a bogey team for us, and we need to be very, very aware about how they play, how we are going to protect our backline, and how we are going to keep that clean sheet. And that's how I think we should take it forward. But it will be very interesting to see who Solskjaer plays. Like I said, I would rather prefer him playing the same 11 that he played against Chelsea, because right now that's the best 11, because like I said, I don't see ourselves having that much of a ball possession. So fast players like Lingard, like Martial, like Rashford can actually help us. And then maybe a Daniel James off the bench on the 70th minute mark, if it's still 0-0 or maybe a 1-0, he can really help us in those counter-attacking situations. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon. Please don't forget to like, comment, share. Tell me who do you think should start the game, what the predicted score will be. I feel it's going to be a 2-1 victory to United, because I feel Ole is going to learn from his past mistakes. But I feel it's going to be an interesting game. Till then, sit tight and cheers.